Inspire, innovate, ignite. Conversations that count. Be inspired by expert panelists who share innovative, self-empowerment tips that will enrich your life.
Welcome to Inspire, Innovate, Ignite, Conversations that Count. And this is being sponsored by SacredU.love. Conversations like this one are just one of the many reasons why I believe that SacredU is truly unique. In a world where the pace of life seems to accelerate relentlessly, this panel discussion invites our viewers to explore unconventional paths to inner peace and to resilience. We expect our panel of experts, who are amazing women, to shake up the status quo, offer fresh perspectives on navigating the complexities of 2024 through non-traditional practices to find inner harmony. So this quest for inner harmony promises to be an immersive experience, inspiring us all to break free of convention and embrace innovative approaches to being. We are about to unravel the secrets of inner harmony in an ever-evolving world. I'm Sue Rumack. I'm a member of SacredU, and I'm also a host of a SacredU tribe called Life Force Activators. And our conversation tonight is Quest for Inner Harmony, coping with 2024 using non-traditional practices. And in a moment, our experts, who you can see on the screen with me, Denise Blackney, Joanne Irwin, and Helen Prince. Apologies, Helen. I do that every time. Are going to be introducing themselves to tell us a little bit about why they're excited about this quest for inner harmony. Before we start, hello to all of our audience, wherever you are, on whichever platform you have found us. Please, in the chat, just tell us where you're located. And if you have any thoughts around inner harmony, we'll be looking at those comments and questions as we go through. Please don't be shy. We're looking forward to you interacting with all of us. So let's jump right in. I'm going to ask Joanne first if she wouldn't mind unmuting and telling us a little bit about why she's excited about this quest for inner harmony. And a little bit about yourself too, of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Thank you, Sue. Absolutely am I excited about this quest for inner harmony and inner peace. Isn't that what everybody is essentially looking for in life? Yes. It's been a journey, and mine started over 43 years ago, just before I had my first child, and just delving in different ways of doing and being and seeing in the world. And fortunately for me, and fortunately I think that everything happens for a purpose. My first daughter's husband was into natural healing and growing food, and that sparked my interest. So it took me on a journey, and truly it's been amazing, using the alternative ways with myself, but also with my children, and the way that I brought them up, completely 160-degree difference to what my upbringing was. I'm excited because it's amazing what can happen for you when you just go and explore areas of being. So that's led me to where I am now and what I do, and helping women with anxiety and overwhelm. And I've since then just delved in a lot of spiritual and shamanic practices and different things along the way. And then I studied NLP and hypnosis, which I use all of these tools with my clients now to support them to get incredible results. So that's pretty much me in a short.
Inner harmony.
Yeah, inner harmony. Yeah, and why I do what I do and love what I do.
We're going to have an opportunity to tell us a little bit more about that towards the end of our conversation this evening. But right now, I'd like to jump over to Denise Blackney. And Denise, can you tell us a little bit about you and why you're excited about our topic tonight, the quest for inner harmony?
Yeah, very excited about it because it's such an individual walk in life, our inner harmony, because no one else can make us harmonious except for ourselves. And
so true.
Yeah, and I've learned that along my life journey in life, is that I was brought up in such a different time where, parenting was so different for mothers and fathers, and So what came from that was all the wounds and all the things that I started doing in my life. But then when I started doing the same thing, because that's what we do, we follow those motions. And I found that they didn't sit with me and it caused me a lot of grief. And so from then it's been an inner journey of finding my harmony in life. And throughout that, it took me quite some time. It took me until my children were in their teens, and it's so from that it's just turned my life around, and I now help people do the same. I help people find their inner harmony and self-heal themselves, because that's part of harmony is self-healing. And showing clients that we don't have to be the same as everyone else. We are individuals and our individuality matters, and finding harmony within that. So I'm really excited about this.
We have two already self-professed inner harmony seekers. This is going to be such a good conversation. Helen Prince, jump in now and tell us why you're excited about our topic tonight and a little bit about you.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate what Denise is saying. It's so important, and we are so unique and individual that what is harmony for one person is not harmony for the next person. So it's so important that we just do what feels good for us. And I think it's so important for women, and this is why I love working with women and helping them get back to who they are. We can come away from who we are. We get caught up in all the shoulds and what we're supposed to be and do and all of that sort of stuff. And that in itself just rocks your harmony. It takes you out of balance. And when women are out of balance or don't have that harmony with who they are and how they feel, that's the energy they're putting out there. And then we are so influential, even if we don't think we're influential. Our children especially, they're picking up what we're putting down. They're picking up on our energy, on our vibe. They're watching what we do. This is where these patterns, it's part epigenetics, but it's also part your nature nurture. They watch what we do. And so when we can look after ourselves and have that harmony, have that balance, have that nice, whatever it is that it is for you, that calm, that peace, it's not just then sending out this incredible energy to other people that they can then go, oh, I want that. You become this role model. You're also showing your children. And that's why I got into what I do. I'm a creatrix transformologist, which is it's a big made up word, but all words are made up. But basically, it's for women to come back to who they are. And I got into it because I didn't want my daughter to follow in my footsteps, incredibly self-conscious and shy and had no self-esteem growing up. And I didn't want her to follow in that. I want her to have better. We all want the next generation to have better.
We do.
So that's what I love about what I do. And I love working with women who are around my age, like in their 50s, and they've spent so much of their life looking after everyone else. It's now, lady, it's time to look after you, because you've still got a long road ahead of you. So it's time to look after you and get you back to where you want to be, and just watch the incredible ripple that then sends out.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful panel. Helen, that was just gorgeous. And you actually segued us into our first question, which was, by the way, not on the list of questions that you were sent in advance of this panel. Okay. So this very first question for all of you, Helen kicked it off. I'm going to ask her to be the last one to comment, to tie everything together, if that's okay. So the first question is, what is inner harmony anyways, in general, and how does that show up for different people in different places, different times? Because society puts so many different faces on inner harmony. So what is inner harmony anyways? Denise, I think I'd like to start with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'd really like to bring it back to individuality. Like, I'm the single most important person in this universe, just like you're the most single important person in this universe. So I matter, and I don't have to be like anybody else. And that's where I think we get out of harmony, because we think we have to follow the suit of what's going on in today's society, where harmony is actually bringing yourself back to yourself, knowing yourself, who you are, why you are, how you are, what that feels like, what that tastes like, what every bit of that. And it's taking everything around you, the earth, when we stand out in the earth, that how does that feel to us? So it's really taking on all the senses of ourself, not our senses of everything around us. It's the senses of ourself. And what harmony is about, curiosity and finding ourselves, and not, if I don't like what's going on there, I don't have to do that. If they're saying this, I don't have to say that as well. The harmony is being okay with just me and see where that takes me. And for me as well, harmony is about feeling that dark times, or people call it darkness, people call it shadows, but feeling how my emotions are in that state. Someone says something, if I'm hurt by it, allow myself to feel that, because that's where the healing is. When I feel it, I heal it. I'm feeling to the core of everything, instead of no, it doesn't matter, I can't show my emotions. We are emotional beings. That's part of harmony, is feeling every part of ourselves and being okay with every part of ourselves being seen.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And I'm seeing that Helen is nodding. Yes. Joanne, I'm going to ask you to build on to what Denise has just said in your own way, but I'd also like you to tie it into what the general perception of harmony in the spiritual community is. What's the general perception of harmony, inner harmony, based on this whole concept?
Yeah, I love what both ladies have talked about there. It's so exactly what I would have expressed also. But in the piece, adding on to that piece of the perception of the spiritual realm, is that it's quite interesting, because I've been around that realm for so long, and I used to be one of those people that thought I had to be acting a certain way, a spiritual way, for me to be accepted. And then you would go into those environments, would be this so-called perception of enlightenment, right? Like, I've reached that, or that's what you're going for. And it's just not like that. You just never ever get there, really, because it's a journey. It's a personal journey. And there's so many layers that we need to strip back. And this is where I feel like the soul piece comes into it. And will we ever get there? Excuse me, but an airplane flying over. Will we ever get there? And I don't believe we ever will, because in our own lifetime, personally, yes, there are examples of that. You look at the Gandhis in the world, and the Sikhs, and the Dalai Lama. Maybe that's tapping into that, the essence of that. But I'm sure that they're still doing the inner work to stay there. All right. So working with every day, just doing the best you can to be the best you want to be. And that's a choice. And it's personal. And it's, as Denise said, it's okay to collapse in a ball on the floor, because that's part of the process of really letting go of all the parts of us that are keeping us stuck from reaching that soul purpose, that soul self, and experiencing what that is. And I think the more we just tap into that and work through the layers of the emotions and all the healing that we need to do to perhaps get there eventually. But yeah, I don't think I think the perception is that, like, the spiritual world and that everybody in it has reached enlightenment, and it's not, it's a journey, and we don't need to pretend, like, just let go of the facade of trying to be something that we probably will never get to be. But we do experience it at times. And now it's just holding on to that, isn't it? Yeah.
Isn't it, though? Absolutely. I love the way you built on to what Denise and Helen had said in the beginning. So Helen, now I'm coming to you because you were the one that started this whole snowball question. Okay. I think that these two lovely women have built out what you were saying. And I'm not going to ask you to repeat what you said, but I'm just wondering, since I'd like to come back to that, the spiritual world and the questing world, the seekers world, the light workers world, we all have a perception of what inner harmony is. If you can summarize down what inner harmony is meant to be, as opposed to the definition that has been placed on it by various groups of seekers.
I believe inner harmony is you not having that constant voice in your head telling you all of the rubbish that it tells you. It's full acceptance of yourself and of others, and being okay with the fact that every single person does have a different perspective. Everyone has different beliefs. Some are what you believe, some are not. It doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. It's having that quiet mind, which I know a lot of women struggle with because it seems to be, and I hear this often from my clients. They go, there's nothing in my head. What's happened? And I say to them, sweetheart, that's called peace. That's what we are striving for, to have that space where there is quiet and enjoy the quiet, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next minute. It may not be quiet the next minute. But when you've got that space, when you don't have that inner voice telling you all the rubbish about whether it's about you or about others, it doesn't matter. Self doesn't know the difference between self and others. When you talk smack about somebody else, it thinks you're talking about yourself. So to me, inner harmony is having that quietness, not all the time, because that's impossible, having that quiet and enjoying that, because it gives you the space that when things then happen, and when you can heal all of the wounds of the past and you get the wisdom that you need around that, it means that when something happens that is similar or even different, but it triggers the same emotions, you then do see it differently. And that space that you've created allows you to see it differently, because your emotions, what Joanne and Denise were saying, we are emotional. That's the beautiful part about women. We are so emotional that we love so deeply, but then we can really hurt deeply as well. It's getting that nice balance, though, that you don't stay in the pain too long. We're meant to feel our emotions, and then we're meant to go, okay, what just happened that caused that, and then make an adjustment. And then we let it go, not carry it on. So to me, inner harmony is having that nice quiet in your mind, having that freedom of your emotions to go up and down, but not go so up and so down and stay where they are. Because even being happy all the time is unrealistic as well. You can be happy for the majority of the time, but when we're aiming for that and to feel good all the time, that's unrealistic as well, because we are emotional. So it's having that nice ebb and flow where things happen, where we're able to handle things, we're able to adjust, to pivot, to learn, to grow. We are always learning and growing, and we will do that to the day we die. There is always something that we will discover about ourselves, about other people, and that's the beautiful part of life as well. Have I answered your question, Sue? I feel like I went a little bit sideways.
You did. You did. No, I was looking sideways because I was looking at a message that Joanne put into the chat, and she said she basically was agreeing with you, and she was calling it emotional regulation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, you did answer my question perfectly. I couldn't have asked for better. Now we're going to come down to the nitty-gritty, okay, the technical part of inner harmony. We know that there are spiritual traditional practices that are used by so many healers and leaders and gurus and teachers of inner harmony. What, if you were looking at traditional practices, could each one of you name one traditional practice that you feel is a valuable practice? And then we're going to go to the non-traditional. Let's start with traditional. Who would like to start?
I think, yeah, I'll go. Meditation, the world is all about, that's a tradition that has been gone on for thousands and thousands of years, and we're just all bringing it back now. It's like it was only for the few, but now it's for everybody, and everybody's grabbing onto it and doing it in their own way and what works for them. But I always say, for meditation, for me, it might not be, I could sit for 10 minutes and do a meditation. I can go for a walk in the bush for an hour, and that's meditation. I can go for a swim. Meditation isn't about, I just have to sit here quietly and listen to some music. Meditation is really, that's where the harmony is in with yourself, is going with what lights you up, what makes you feel good. So if going for a walk or even sitting in the middle of the bush lights you up and makes you feel grounded, makes you feel really good, that's what you should pursue. It's not about because someone told me I need to do this. It's about finding that practice of meditation that works for you. You hear about people, they love listening to metal music. That's their meditation. If that makes them feel relaxed and sets them apart for that time, that's what is there for them. I think the tradition is there, and it has been for many centuries, but I think it's evolved as we've evolved. I feel that it's different things for different people, but all of them have importance to it. And like we've all said, as everyone's very different.
Yeah, that was beautifully introduced. I love the way you took us away from the traditional form of meditation and brought us into a more evolved form of meditation. So if we were looking at the traditional, would you also say that how meditation is evolving has become non-traditional?
Yes and no. Because some people really love the tradition of meditation, and yet others don't. So it really comes down. I think the tradition has changed in the sense to the non-tradition because we all get to choose. It's not being told what to do now.
I love
we get
that.
a choice, yeah.
We get a choice. We give ourselves permission to make a choice.
Yeah, because it's for me as it is for you. Yeah.
And that also brings a sense of harmony, inner peace, when we can choose how we want to do that, when we want to do that, where we want to do that. Beautiful. Denise, thank you for giving us our first traditional and non-traditional look at practices for reaching inner harmony. Joanne, I'm going to ask you to jump in next.
Yeah.
Traditional and non-traditional.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. Medicine's been practicing acupuncture eons. And in fact, for some, it's a non-traditional, depending on your philosophy and your beliefs and what you, again, connect with, as Denise said, individually. The same as, I put it in the same category as chiropractic, osteopath, body work, massage. All these have been around, and people are very open and familiar. Most people are very open and familiar with these traditional alternative practices, and they're all amazing. So when I left home at 17, my first job was in an acupuncturist, and that was 47 years ago or something. I think that back then my family their heads were spinning. What's she doing? Because we're always down the path of the medical practitioners and the belief there. So again, with like Denise said, it could be both, depending on your experiences in the past. So
now, I'm gonna ask you to drill down a little bit into how acupuncture and that kind of physical and energetic intervention would actually help to bring about inner peace.
Yeah, okay. So again, it's in the past it's been generally used for ailments, illnesses, things like that. But when you fix those things that you're experiencing in your body, then you can connect more with the person that you are when you're not in pain, when you're being your authentic self, your natural self. So yeah, those things connect, and they're all connected to the meridians in the body, so they can actually help the neural pathways in the brain to correct. And there's a lot of science in this. I'm not an expert on any of it, but I just through my own experiences and using these things with myself and my children, I know that I come away from these practices feeling a whole lot calmer, a whole lot connected, a whole lot clearer. So there's something in that to be said about everything connects with everything. And when we talk about energy, like Helen was expressing earlier, everything that we think and we feel and we do is affecting everything else around us. So if we're correcting those, I was going to say if we're correcting the imbalances is the word I'm looking for in the neurosystem, in the physical and the neurosystem, then we've got to feel better. We've got to feel those things that we're striving to feel. And I think if you go into that experience of getting some support around using these modalities, then you have the intention of that as well, because that's powerful when you can have that intention of coming out of there feeling a whole lot different, and your body experiencing that as well, mind and body.
I love how you tied that together, Joanne. Absolutely beautifully. I don't think that most people would think of a physical modality that's going to help your health being the gateway to inner harmony and peace. And yet you brought that piece together so beautifully. Thank you so much. That's brilliant. Joanne. Sorry, Helen. I apologize. Helen. Helen, I don't know why I do that. I always call you by different name. I do that all the time. And I apologize. It's not intentional.
That's all right, Sue. I don't mind. It's all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if I can just build on what Joanne was actually saying, though, we are one being. We're not mind over here, body over there, emotions and all of that. We're one being. So everything is connected. And when it comes to that inner harmony side, for me and my experiences, it's about using modalities that go to that deeper level, that address the deep hurts and the beliefs, because a lot of the times too, beliefs are not just what around our values and things. Beliefs are just words that we have on repeat, that we've heard from our parents, that they heard from their parents, they heard from their parents. It's all these things that are brought in. So working on those things that go to the deeper level, the hypnotherapy and the NLP, that sort of stuff, timeline is great for guys. That sort of thing at that level is what I believe we need to have to create that inner harmony, because there's lots of things that work with just the unconscious and there's lots of things that work with just the conscious, like talk therapy is very conscious, hypnotherapy is very unconscious. It's the melding, finding something though that works on both at the same time together. So instead of we've got the conscious going this way, the unconscious going this way, depending on the circumstance, the situation, how you're feeling, what's going on in your life in that very minute, one of them is going to win, all right? And one of them is going to pull you. And this is where we get that we're not in harmony, because we've got this constant going on. So it's finding a process that gets both of them facing the same ways. Instead, we're facing two different ways in a rowboat. One's rowing this way, one's rowing that way. And we wonder why we keep going in circles, or we wonder why we go a little bit this way, and then we go a big bit this way, and we keep getting that backwards and forwards. So when you need to have the conscious and the unconscious facing the same way in the boat, rowing together, and that's what causes the ease and the flow and the harmony and the peace in your mind, so that when things come up, big wave comes at you, they're rowing together to be able to get over that and scoot down the other side. So it's, finding that beautiful balance in what you do, because everything that's out there works to a degree and everything helps. Some things are very in the moment, some are a little bit longer term, but what we want for, what I believe, for that sustained harmony is getting something that's doing this and everything's facing the same direction.
I'm going to ask you, I'm getting nods from both of our other panelists. I'm going to ask you a question. How does a person recognize when they've got they're both going in the right direction. What are a couple of little milestones that they could begin to look for, knowing that everything's facing in the same direction and pulling in the same direction at the same time to get to their own inner peace?
This is when you just feel good for no reason. And you don't have to have a reason to feel good either, because feeling good is our natural state. You feel good. Things work out for you. Things are easy. It doesn't mean that things don't happen in your life, because stuff's always going to happen. As long as you are living and breathing and interacting with other people in the world, stuff's going to happen. It doesn't have to be a major disaster when stuff happens. It was quite interesting. I got back from holidays yesterday and we flew Bonza. And everyone knows what happened with, you may not overseas. Bonza is an airline that went bust. And so we got a little message. Actually, we didn't even get told. We saw it on the news. Anyone flying on Bonza, sorry, you can't get home. Oh, okay. So that's interesting. But we were 3 couples, and it was really interesting to see the way the other people reacted to the same event. And so this is where you're on the right track when things are working together, where it's, okay, yeah, that's inconvenient, but it's going to be okay. Versus it's a major disaster. What are we going to do? Go into panic mode. So it's when you're able to you've got that resilience, you can bounce back from things, don't phase you. These are the little signs that everything is going in the right direction. And knowing that you've got that long-term, sustainability is not the right word that I'm looking for, but it's that long-term knowing things are going well. It's because you don't get re-triggered to fall back into the depths of where you were over the things that you've already worked with. Does that make sense?
To me, it does, ladies. Do you have any comments on this to add to it?
Yeah, that was just so beautiful. What I'd love to say is that every action we take, we have a feedback. That's how the natural law of the universe works. Emotionally, everything around us, every action we take, there's a feedback that shows us whether we're on the right track or not. And it's whether we choose. This is when we become in harmony with ourselves. We become really aware of ourselves and how we're feeling, what we're thinking. And when that feedback becomes, oh, okay, so that's where the trigger can happen. If I'm not listening or I'm not aware of it, then I react to old stories. I react to old wounds that come up and then play out again here today, because I haven't gone and sorted those. And it's about all the energy, like I was saying with the meditation and Joanne and you guys building on the modalities, is they're all physical. The modalities are for our physical being, but to create harmony in ourselves, we've got to go from because they're our spiritual, which is our electrical body, I call it, which is all our chakras, balancing them out. So we need and they're an energy flow in and out. So we need to balance ourselves. We need to go into the earth. We need to find that harmony that balances our electrical. And what I do know, when we heal our soul heals straight away. It takes a little bit of time for our chakras and everything to recalibrate, balance, and then our body. And depending on how we're looking after our body, depends on how long that might take, a bit longer. So to build harmony is where, when we're working all these things, we're working from the inside out. So of our whole being. And then our soul comes in and goes, oh, you're so clear, I can give you more of your desires, more of your knowing, because we have everything within us. We just don't remember. So our journey is to coming home to remembering. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And our thoughts cause our emotions. And then the emotions, we all know, and there's so many incredible books out there that talk about how our emotions and holding on to them and keeping them causes the dis-ease in our body. And once you are able to sort that out, so you're not it's like you're pulling the plant out from the root instead of just cutting off the branches, so
Over
that
the course.
those things are not triggering you to feel the same things, and it keeps that cycle in play. And I've seen incredible body healings once the emotions and the beliefs have been resolved at a really deep cellular level. It's beautiful.
It is so beautiful. And when you get to that cause and you go through that emotional and hold yourself in love and compassion for whatever that is there for you, then that releases, then you heal, and your body, then when you come to that same situation, it's, oh, okay, you don't have that attachment to it whatsoever anymore, which is so beautiful. That means you've healed that whole line. And not only for yourself, you heal the lineage of past generations and forward generations. It's just, energy is so beautiful. It's just,
Energy is
so
everything.
magic. Yeah.
Really.
Oh, absolutely. And we touch everybody. If I'm thinking about you, you're going to feel that. You might not know what that is
right now too.
Yeah. If I'm sending love to someone, that love will hold them. They might not know that you've sent it, but they feel it. Their whole being feels it.
Beautiful. I'm going to, Joanne, did you want to add anything to this briefly? Because I've got one more question that I would like to get to before you have a chance to talk about yourselves and what you do.
No, it's beautiful and powerful, and I'm echoing everything and agreeing with everything, that we're all on the same trajectory here of what we're doing in the world, and I want to agree. And I think just one little piece that I'd like the audience to maybe practice is just watching when they react and when they respond, because in the reactions there is an opportunity to heal and to explore possibly how you could think things through differently. So I absolutely love what everybody shared there. And I know we're short of time, so let's move on.
We're not really short of time yet. I do have, Joanne, what you just did was you gave the final piece of the puzzle, which is what we can do to improve our own ways of reacting and changing those reactions so that we do come to that inner harmony so much more naturally. So I'm going to ask Sophia. Sophia, we have 15 minutes left on the official call. I'd like to ask this last question because I think it's important. Can we go over by just a little bit?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Fantastic. Appreciate it. Okay. The final question, I had so many more, but the last one I'm going to ask tonight is, what are some misconceptions and stigmas around non-traditional practices?
Some misconceptions and stigmas around, I think, education around the evidence-based approach, the research that supports the non-traditional practices, a lot of people are not aware of. And because there's so much information out there that it proves that it works. So I think people just maybe get a bit more educated around that. And it's not just woohoo, it's science. It's science-based, especially with energy. I work with a lot of I work with energy as well, frequency, and it's something you can't see. And I think people that they feel that they can't see something, it's not true. It's, I guess, re-educating people that on the science and the things behind it that proves otherwise in their minds. And I guess it comes back to what they're used to, their own beliefs and their own experiences and evidence of what they've experienced in their life. And we're not here, I don't believe we're here to convert people at all. We're just sharing what we know as truth and our experiences and other people's experiences that we've seen and have evidence of. So I guess there's a growing acceptance, I believe, and which is beautiful. And we just need to maybe share more of the stories to people who are maybe not so convinced, and give them the experience. Like, I offer free experiences so people can actually feel it for themselves. So I think Yeah, that's
Okay.
important.
I think that you just touched on something that was really very important. Let's see now what Denise has to say about what are some of the common misconceptions and stigmas surrounding non-traditional practices for reaching inner harmony and peace.
Yeah, I think some of the stigmas is that people believe that they can't do it on their own. People believe that they need to go, like, because I'm very much about self-healing, helping people, supporting people to self-heal themselves. And people don't know that they can hold themselves. People don't know that they can be responsible for themselves. People don't know that they are their own self-healing by how their emotions are or not. So if I'm sad today, it's I don't need to go and seek out the answer. I can start asking myself questions. Okay, where's the sadness coming from? And if you're not quite sure, seek out those who can give you questions to ask yourself, because it's about us knowing ourselves personally. That's what harmony is. Harmony is knowing why I do everything, how I do everything. So it's actually being okay. And it's going to be messy to begin with, because I don't really know myself. If I don't talk to myself, because we have this chit chat in our head of our stories, but that's not me talking to myself. That's those stories on repeat. When I start asking myself questions, like when I go to you, look, how are you today, Sue? You're going to tell me how you are. Am I asking myself how I am today? How am I feeling today? What is up for me today? Oh, I'm not happy about that. Why am I not happy about that? What is it brought up in me? It's that real self-responsibility that we're too scared, or that we don't think we can be, because we're always taught, go to the doctor or go and seek out this and go and seek out that. So it's about bringing it back to yourself and start chatting to yourself, asking yourself the questions.
What you're saying is it's the most common misconception that you've come across is that people don't believe that they can find inner harmony without intervention by a professional?
If they're seeking it, people will go to professionals. It depends on what professionals that you're asking. If I'm going to the doctor to seek out, to get harmony within my life because I'm full of anxiety and I don't know what's going on, and the doctor gives me tablets, which can work to a degree, but that's just masking why I'm anxious. I'm not asking, why am I anxious here? What is causing my anxiety? Because there's something that's within me that's out of balance.
Okay.
That's why I'm anxious. So, and if I go to someone like Joanne, who's an emotional empowerment coach, and goes, hey, I can give you some ideas here. I can show you where this is leading you. And you go, oh, but, and then she can say, but you can also do that for yourself. I can give you practices at home to do.
Right.
So the misconceptions is that we don't think we can do it. We always have to outreach.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Helen, what are some misconceptions and stigmas surrounding non-traditional practices? How can they be addressed?
Can I just add on to what Denise was saying? Because it's that self-responsibility, and very quickly, Sue, it's that self-responsibility where all your power lies as well. When we're too busy going, no, I can't do that, and we're relying on someone else, we're giving away our power. The blame and responsibility is like personal development 101. Often, though, it's not done at a depth, or it's not given the importance that it deserves, because it starts, that's where everything starts. If we don't feel that we can do anything and everything's out of our control because it's up to them to do it, or they have to do it, or if we're all pointing out here waiting for somebody else to do it, we've just given up all of our power, and we will never be able to create the harmony that we want and deserve, because it's out of our control, where that's not true. Everything is within your control. Everything, you have a choice. Even when you don't believe you have a choice, you're choosing to give up your choice to see other options. So it's just, I loved what you were saying there, Denise, that whole looking at yourself, looking at what's going on, And you've got to be the one that makes the changes. And the thing is, you are the one that can make those changes. It may not be easy, but you are the one that can make those changes. And yeah, I loved what you were saying, Denise.
And
What
Helen,
I've seen,
doesn't it come right down to that no matter who we go to for direction in finding inner harmony and inner peace, whether it's a professional or somebody else or a tradition or a native tradition that we go to, it still comes back to us, doesn't it?
absolutely,
We hold that power. Nobody else can give it to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can go to the most knowledgeable person in the world, but if you're not going to then take on what they say and make those changes for yourself, you may as well not even talk to them. So and this is where, just to segue into it, a lot of what I come up against is, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not. And that's just having a very closed mind, and you're not ready to take those actions to do the thing. The person who is ready to change their life are the ones who are not going, yeah, but how does it work? Or what do you do? And they're not so in the detail, but yeah, show me the proof, show me the evidence, show me the science, show me the whatever. Because when you get to that point, it's like, if you want to go on a holiday, do you have to understand how the aeroplane engine works? Do you have to understand rocket fuel and aerodynamics and all of that before you get on the plane? Or do you just want to get on the plane and be on a beach having a mocktail? And it comes back to personal development as well. If the person who is, and there's nothing wrong with questioning, don't get me wrong here. There's nothing wrong with questioning. There's nothing wrong with doing research and understanding. When it comes to the crunch, though, you either want the result or you don't. And this is where you can sit back and go, oh, but there's not enough evidence. There's not enough white papers. There's not enough research. There's not enough blah, blah, blah. Or you can look at, holy crap, look at all of these women who have experienced whatever it is, and they've gotten this result. So that comes back to your choice. What are you going to focus on? Because if you really want to change your life, take control of your life, take control of your decisions, and don't pass the buck to anyone else. If you want what they've got, then go get what they've got. If you don't, then keep doing what you're doing, but don't blame anyone else when you don't have the result. And look, I know that may have come across a little bit harsh, and I don't mean to be harsh. This is where
not at all.
Women, take control of your life, because nobody else is going to come and rescue you in that sense. But you don't need rescuing. You just need to value yourself enough to stand up and say, I want different. You don't have to know what the different is, but have that. And this is where you can go down the traditional path, or you can go down the non-traditional. But when you make that decision, I want more for my life, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to have more, that's where you allow everything to come in. And once it does, though, keep your eyes open and don't just pass things on. Be careful what you ask for, is what they say. So keep that open-mindedness. If it's what you want and other people have got it, that means you can have it as well. So this whole "it's too good to be true" thing is just an excuse to stay stuck. Do you know what
I just love? I love what you just said, and we've got to move on. But otherwise, we're not going to have a chance for you to all talk about yourselves. But I love what you just said is that you gave everybody permission not to be pretty and sweet and calm and peaceful about finding peace and inner harmony. You said you've got to stand up and you've got to fight for your own inner peace and inner harmony. It isn't all about meditating on the flame and waiting for the messages to come. And I think that's what all three of you have brought to this conversation, is that inner peace and harmony is not about sitting on the mat. It's about doing something different than what you're doing and paying attention to the outcome, and then doing something else different. And perhaps, like you said, not waiting for the proof to show up, creating your own proof in your own way. Inner harmony, peace, 2024, we've got a long way to go for most people to find inner peace and inner harmony. especially this year, especially with all the stuff that's going on in the world. And we have to create that for ourselves. We can't expect anybody else to do it for us. Much as we want other people to, we can read all the books, we can do all the practices, but really and truly finding inner peace and harmony is an individual practice that each one of us needs to create for ourselves. And perhaps we do need to come to experts like yourselves to put us in the right direction and to perhaps hold our hands and give us encouragement and kick our butts when necessary. So I'm going to start with Helen. You were the last to speak, so we're going to start with you. Could you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do for people and what it is you would like to offer our audience for having been such good listeners and interested souls?
So I am a creatrix transformologist, and what that means is it's a female-specific process that I use that goes deep. It addresses epigenetical beliefs that science is proving that we're inheriting things in our DNA. And basically what it does, it speaks to the female unconscious, which is the lady who created this, she hypothesized that males and females access different realms of consciousness purely because we're designed to do different things. A woman's body knows how to take one cell and transform it into 100 trillion cells and create life. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to plan it. We don't have to know anything. It's just our natural thing. So she hypothesized that we're tapping into something that men can't because they don't need to. And basically, creatrix goes in at such a deep epigenetical layer. It's this perfect balance between science and spirituality. It gets the conscious and unconscious turned around facing the same way so that they can move forward, and you've got that emotional intelligence. It's like you've raised your emotional intelligence so that when things happen, you've got this, it might be up and down a bit, but you're still going in the one direction. You're not falling out of the boat. That's what I found with a lot of things that I did and why I got into creatrix. I would take 2 steps forwards and then I would take 20 steps back. And that back and forwards was what frustrated me the most. It was like, I just want to learn what I need to learn to get past this. I don't want to have to keep learning the same lessons over again. I want to learn and grow, not go and fall down, because every time I fell down, I felt worse about myself because I would start that whole comparison thing. And as much as we say, it doesn't matter what people think, it's that's all good. Logically, I know that. When I'm triggered and I'm emotional, all that goes out the window. So creatrix brings in that harmony. It makes you that person who can, some things you're still going to respond at a 10 out of 10 and go crazy angry, but it's because the situation warranted it. But instead of staying there, I used to stay there and I used to carry it and I used to find more things and more things to stay angry, which is, we all know how unhealthy that is. And it was unhealthy for me. It was unhealthy for my children. They were very young, unhealthy for my relationship. Yes, I still get angry, but it might be like that. And then I'm back down to, okay, so now what we can do, because it brings that peace that I was talking back to you, that it's that space where instead of being so emotional and we can't see, because we are literally dumber when we're emotional, all right? Our brain, they've done lots of scans. I won't go into that, but instead of having all that, you've got that calm. So then you can see all of these different options that you couldn't see before when you were so emotional. So that's what creatrix does. It just basically opens everything up, brings it all back down to nice. So you can just handle life the way you were meant to handle life and continue to grow and step up and do all the things that you want. So I love it. It's been 7 years now since I first had creatrix. I've never reverted back to the same things that I had creatrix on 7 years ago. I've continued to step up and grow, and new things happen because as you step up, new things come up. But it's something that has allowed me to just keep on that steady keel. So I can go up and down, but I always come back to that nice balance.
Now that you've got us all just dying to know how to get in touch with you, your information is going to be put into the comments after this video goes into replay on all the platforms. But what is it that you would like to offer our audience as a gift for staying through the panel discussion?
So it'll be just a 1 hour discovery call. We'll get on the phone. We'll have a look at what's going on with your life, what you want to do, what you want to change, where you want to go. Because, you know, what I was saying before about the blame and responsibility, taking responsibility for taking actions as well is just as important. So we'll have a look at that, see where you're at, and see whether Creatrix is the thing that's going to do what you want it to do in your life. Yeah. 1 hour on the phone, we'll get to the crux of what's going on and then go from there to see if it's something I can help you with.
Very generous. Joanne, again, a little bit about
Hello.
yourself. And you know what to do.
Yeah.
We've done it so many times.
What an act to follow. It's exciting, and it's similar to the work I do actually. I primarily use NLP and hypnosis, but I really have the ability to tune in and really get to the root cause of people's trauma and wounding and heal it from there. So I mainly work with women. I do have men though, I'm not biased, that want to be more empowered and live their passion and live their truth and live from that authentic place and heal all those emotions and beliefs that are holding them back. And it's been my life work for a long time. And what I wanted to say is, like, just tapping into the piece about Denise was saying about doing it on your own. Yes, there's a place for that. And the way I see it is that I take them on that journey for 12 weeks so that they're empowered enough to continue on their own. I don't want to see my clients coming back over and over. That I'm not in the business of that. I'm in the business of creating a roadmap for them so they can take their power back and control of their life and live their purpose and live their passion and be who they want to be on the planet and creating magnificent things in the world. So that's my little intention there for everyone in the world. What am I offering? I want to offer an experience. I do work with frequency. So a 30-minute exploratory session where we look at an area of your life that you would like to have a breakthrough with and drill down to that and then give you a frequency experience so that you can maybe shift some of those old patterns and programs that keep you stuck in that specific area of your life, whether it be relationships, health, career, business. Because frequency is very powerful as well. It can get to the root cause ancestrally and past life and all sorts of things so we can clear and so you can feel it for yourself. So that's my offering today.
Beautiful. Many thanks. I'm sure there will be people who will be very interested in your offer as well. Denise.
Oh, yeah,
your
they're
turn.
both got fabulous offers.
Thanks.
Yeah, Joanne, I think you and I do extremely similar work together. I'm a high energy master, and I've been that for 4 years now, and I work in the fields of shifting energy. And I do that as well. I work on the emotional, the mental, the physical, and I also have kinesiology under my belt as well and shifting that energy. And I like to go to the causal. So we go to the causal and just holding beautiful energy space of love to help people bring that forward for themselves and clearing that so they're not reactive in life. So I'm not living this life and still living out the same story that I lived out when I was 5 or 10 or however old I was. Therefore, then opening the space within myself to create the life that I choose to create. I love empowering people to do that, and I'm like that as well. I love to put myself out of work with people. I like to have them for a time that I give them all my tools, absolutely everything to know how they can work and heal themselves from that day forward so they create and then they can go and help their family do that, their children. And to me, that's just a beautiful way to help people, support people to self-heal. And for me today, I have a couple of spots left. I'm not, because it, like you were saying, if it's so cheap, it mustn't be true, but I am cheap. I charge $50 for a session for an hour to an hour and a half. to help people on their journey. But yeah, also would love if people just want information and to see where they are and how they can just begin. Yeah, put in a call and let's have a chat and see where you are and have those few little tools to start you on your journey. Yeah.
How lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Sue Rumack. I am a professional life coach. I've been a life coach for over 18 years. My specialty is working with empaths and people who are leading into HSP burnout too soon in their careers and in their lives. I work with energy. I've created programs for people to learn new ways of energetically shielding themselves, grounding themselves, but using quantum energy as opposed to the traditional chakra methods. And we achieve results very quickly, and it becomes very programmable, and people's lives change from the very first sessions. I'm an overwhelm strategist, and I help you create that roadmap that takes you step by step through the goals that you need to create for yourself. Perhaps it's inner harmony, perhaps it's peace, perhaps it's relationship, perhaps it's just managing life in a different way than you ever have before. Conversations about communications and relationships and building trust with people and becoming visible in a way that you feel respected and safe at the same time. I'm being heard. This is the kind of work that I do with people, and it touches on inner harmony and peace at every step of the way, which is why this conversation for me was so spectacular. And it just opened up so many different avenues, and every single one of them is 100% valid. My offer is a 60 to 90-minute next steps life blueprint session. And at the end of it, you get an MP4 or an MP3, whichever you prefer, of our conversation, so you can review it at any time. You get a transcript, you get a written highlights, and it's all free. If you love what you hear and that roadmap makes sense to you, then we talk about next steps, real next steps that you can take either with me, on your own, or with somebody else. And everybody else, I hope that my clients will outgrow me quite quickly. And we wait and see how that all turns out. Usually they do outgrow me, but it's after they have managed many different goals in their lives, not just the one that they originally came to me with. So my information, along with everybody else's, is going to be in the comments down below. And there will be clickable links for you to reach out to Helen, to Denise, and to Joanne, and to myself. Before we go, I know that I believe, Helen, you have a tribe on SacredU, don't you? You're a tribe host. Would you
Yes.
like to give us a quick one-liner with when and where and how and what?
Yeah. So I am mastering the law of attraction. It's on Tuesdays, weekly on a Tuesday at 8 a.m. Queensland time. And yeah, basically just little tips and tricks you can use to help keep your vibration at that higher level, so that what you're sending out is what you're getting back. We're always doing it all of the time. Sometimes we're vibrating low. That's why we're attracting a lot of the crap that we don't want. So it's about recognizing that. And there's some little things that we do each week to help you to get back up, so that you're creating the life that you want. It's not just happening by default. We're doing it on
Fantastic.
purpose.
The link to join your tribe is going to be in with all of your other links as well. Joanne, you also have a tribe.
Yes,
You are also a tribe
I
host.
have the Empowering You to Live Your Best Life tribe, and that's every Wednesday between 10 and 11 a.m. And we talk about everything from S to G, and in between, where it's open. The women there are incredible. We go very deep into the stuff that we all had challenges us on a daily basis, and emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. We talk about whatever calls us. Last week we talked about money frequency, which was very powerful. So yeah, it can change depending on where the women are at any given time. And I usually come up with a topic that morning. I get downloads like, so come and join us. We have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs as well.
Beautiful. Denise, I think we're waiting for you to have your own tribe. I don't think you've got one yet, if I'm not.
We're working through that.
We're working on it?
Yeah, very excited. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to keep that under wraps until you're ready to
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. My tribe is Life Force Activators, and it's all about life force, vibrancy, energy protection, energy shielding, and a million different things. And the replays are available in the village galleries, video galleries, with all the other replays. So you can check out our past sessions. You can join us on our current sessions. Life Force Activators, we meet Monday evenings every week at 8:30 Sydney time, PM. Okay, so bring your snacks, bring your midnight snack or your night snack and join us in your PJs. We don't care. We're happy to see you. So, Sophia, I'm going to ask you to come online now, on camera now, just to tell people about our amazing offers for membership.
Certainly, Sue, and thank you so much. But before we get there, thank you. Really, thank you. That's such a wonderful conversation. And thank you to Joe and to Helen and to Denise for joining us again. That was an amazing conversation. And we have certainly been putting all your links in the comments. So everyone who's watching the live or the replay, click on these links, connect with these amazing women. And of course, for everyone who is watching, come and join us. Don't watch, come and join a community, connect with all these amazing women and so many more of heart-centered people who are on a spiritual path who get you. We get a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people who say, my family and my friends don't get me. I'm on a spiritual thing and they don't get me. Come and join us where we get you. Join us just for $1, $1 US, and you get 2 weeks to try out Sue's Life Force Activators tribe. Thoroughly recommend it. Really. Joe's beautiful Empowering You to Live Your Best Life tribe, where you empower yourself, true, and lots of other things. And Helen's Mastering the Law of Attraction, which is so much more than The Secret. So much more. Thank you again. Seriously, it has been an honor, and I can't wait for next week. And when we get everyone back again for round 2.
Mm-hmm. Please. Thank you, ladies. You are amazing. You were just so together in this topic. I love that you were here. I love that you were so open and so sharing, and just made it such a real conversation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's so beautiful.
Thanks for having me.